taking time out of your super busy day to come together, to celebrate, to learn together, and to spend this time together. Research has shown that teams who learn together are more resilient. So I really want to thank our department leadership for supporting and prioritizing this time for us. And I really also want to thank our Staff Grand Rounds Committee for all of the amazing behind the scenes magic they put in to make this event happen for us. So Jake Zimmerly, Marilee Rank, Tiffany Doubleman, Lindsay Browning, Brittany Height, and Aaron Schumacher, you guys have done an incredible job, and thank you so much. We have two wonderful guest speakers with us today who I'm excited to introduce to you. And then we'll close our session today with a raffle. So we have 10 chances to win excellent prizes if you registered online for the session before you got here or joined us virtually. You'll have a chance to win those prizes. So our first speaker today is Mike Rogers. Mike is our associate department chair and he is our administrative director. He's going to talk about our department strategy using a more in-depth look at our quadruple aim framework. So please join me in welcoming Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So first of all, this is cool to see people in real life again. I know there's a lot of people still on Zoom, which is great because it gives more people an opportunity to take part in this than could be here normally. So I'm Mike Rogers. Once again, thank you for allowing me a few minutes. I have 15 minutes, so I asked for 2 hours, but they wouldn't give it to me. So I'll just continue on as fast as I can. So I'll be talking pretty quickly. So just what am I talking about today? So really, it just comes down to maybe, or is it on the clicker? Are we on the clicker now? Yeah. Did you click that? All right, okay. All right, so now it's working. All right, so what is the department strategy? Sorry, I lost a few minutes. The department strategy, we've received multiple questions over the last 6 to 8 months. Is what is the department strategy? You know, or is it clinical? Is it research? Where do we really lean into right now? And if you guys were part of the staff grand rounds last time with Dr. Giardino, he really went into the quadruple aim construct. So what is that, in case you were wondering? And then how are we implementing it into our daily actions and culture? So you've probably seen these graphics before. So primarily other institutions will look at the triple aim, right? It's the quality of care, patient experience, and value. And how do you get all three of those as high as you possibly can? Because we don't do things easy. We actually added an additional aim. And so we have the quadruple aim is what we do. And we've added the improved clinician experience. But we've also looked at this and said, why just the clinician piece and why just the clinician experience? We've actually added the entire team, and that includes everyone in this room, whether it's people that are dealing with clinical patients or in the research or education realm. So because I don't have a lot of time, I'm really going to focus in on these two pieces of the pie, the improved clinician experience, as well as the improved patient experience. So we're going to start here with the improved patient experience. So I have a few stories to tell you. So this is my family. See, these are my kids, right? And I love them to death. And I've seen on Instagram sometimes really famous, important people always block out the faces of their kids. I'm not important or very popular. So these are my kids right here. So just don't bully them if you see them, if you don't like me very much. So this is True, Cash, and my 5-year-old son, Tech. So the first one is my son, Cash. He does what other little boys do, and he runs around and falls a lot. So he broke his arm when he was about 8 years old. We took him to the ED. They wrapped it up in a sling, let the swelling come down. A few days later, we took him to get a cast on it. 3 months later, we went back to that same place to find out that his arm was bowed and it wasn't done very well. So our option was to let my son grow up with a bowed arm or have him go to Primary Children's Hospital. We chose the latter. We got him into Primary Children's Hospital. This was the x-ray of his arm once they put the 6-inch pin into it. And needless to say, he was a happy camper at the end of that road. And to be honest with you, so were his parents. And let's be honest, when you're dealing with pediatric patients, I think it's more about the patient's parents' experience than it is the patient experience. And so, mom and dad were really happy with this experience. This here is my daughter, True. She has scoliosis. And after 2 years of the horrible bracing, we decided that that wasn't going to work anymore. And so she ended up having a spinal fusion surgery here at Primary Children's. This is the before and after from my daughter. And she ended up, after this experience, very happy and 2.5 inches taller. The last here is my son, Tech. He was born with a diaphragmatic hernia in another hospital. And after a fun helicopter ride, we ended up at Primary Children's for a surgery on this little guy to basically repair his diaphragm. And you can see in this before and after, the before shows all of his guts up into his lung cavity, and they were pulled down and sewn up, and he's clearly happy. And so was my wife after a pretty traumatic experience. So great news. Moral of the story is we've had the best patient experience, patient parents experience at Primary Children's. So what are we doing? Clearly that was more on the inpatient and then a few outpatient visits to follow up. But what is the Department of Pediatrics doing to improve patient experience? So first of all, we're doing significant departmental investment into the clinical enterprise. We're adding clinical MAs, piloting, the one-on-one, one provider with one MA. We're adding multiple mid-level managers to help assist the higher level managers. We're putting together a ton of work groups to help with this patient experience, or access work group, clinical space work group, patient tracking software to really follow the patient through its outpatient visit to make sure that they're taken care of. Implementing clinical improvements to make a more user-friendly experience for the patients. So the Press Ganey integration with Primary Children's, we used to have 2 Press Ganey surveys, and sometimes the patients would get confused and do one and not the other, or do them both, and it just caused a lot of confusion. So we consolidated those. We implemented a 7-month rolling template, making it easier to get your next appointment, which is great when you're walking out of an appointment and you have a 6-month follow-up, and you can go ahead and make that appointment right there. And we're improving the medical questions in real-time solutions, resolution, and really just better training all around. So we're also improving the service level to the patients. So heightened sense of awareness on things that matter to our patients. And that's the key, is heightened sense of awareness for our providers, for our, any sort of clinicians and any of our clinical staff. So really, all of these here, improving service level to the patients, answering 61% of calls within 30 seconds, which is up from 34%. We're answering 54% of calls within 30 seconds in the triage group. And I just heard yesterday that that's even higher already. So, and then on top of that, we're increasing the percentage of My Health patients. We're increasing the top box scores, which is the metric used in Press Ganey. And we're raising them in concern of nurse assistant, ease of contacting, how well nurses assistants listen, and information about delays, from 5 to 7 points, which is pretty good year-to-date numbers already. Another thing we're also doing is improving patient experience with care closer to home. So these are the outreach locations that we currently have. And, there's times where someone in, southeastern Idaho, can't get subspecialty care. So we're expanding the footprint of Primary Children's and the University of Utah and some, Montana, Idaho, Alaska, Wyoming, and even in the state. You're talking about St. George having a diabetes clinic and making it so families don't have to travel a 10-hour round trip with a possible hotel stay. So, and the big thing we're doing, as many of you know, is the Primary Children's Hospital down in Lehigh at the Miller campus, which is basically a 5-story, 66-bed hospital with a 3-floor outpatient footprint, which is really exciting. And that's going to be coming to us quicker than we probably want, because it's hard to prepare for, but early 2024, probably March. Okay, so now let's dig a little bit more into the improved clinician team experience. And you've probably heard me say this a lot. You've probably heard Dr. Giardino say this a lot, but we want to be the employer of choice. We want you to enjoy your job. We want you to tell your friends you enjoy your job. And we've worked really hard. Of course, there's more that we can do. Of course, there's things that we're still working on, but that is our ultimate goal, right? So a few things that we've done, and this is kind of a wordy slide, and I apologize, but Implementing staff position career ladders. We've done that with multiple positions. We still have more in the queue waiting to come to fruition. We've kept salaries intact during the pandemic, and I'm actually pretty proud of that. There are a lot of places that really decreased salaries or cut positions, or we'd had no layoffs and we didn't cut anybody's salary, even if they weren't working. And there were some points where, you know, everyone in the clinical realm weren't working. There are points where in the research realm, there was labs that weren't open, and we kept those all intact. So we also implemented department-wide bonuses. We did it in November of 2021, and then which was the most we've ever given out in bonuses ever, and it's probably really the second time we've ever done it department-wide. And then we did it again in November of 2019, right before the world ended with COVID. So implementing off-cycle market adjustments at least twice last fiscal year. We received a list of applicable positions that we're able to increase the salaries for to make sure that they stayed with market. We had the option of doing it or not doing it, and of course we elected to do it both times. We're offering funds for team wellness, the Joan Sheets Resiliency Award, to do lunches and ropes courses and things like that to keep up wellness and resiliency. We're doing divisional pizza parties for patient experience experts, the flexible working schedules. You know, that's one thing that we found out through COVID that we're able to do and do quite well. So of course, not every position is really perfect for a telecommuting type of situation, but we've done our best to try to make sure that those are staying intact. As reinstating staff grand rounds, this is great. I think there's, you know, over 200 people that are attending this, which is awesome. And parties. So this is something that the Dr. Giardino is like, this year will be the year of the party. And he wants to make sure that we're connecting and we're really starting to see each other again. And so this was our spring party at the Grand America. And I tried to get everyone in the department on here, but it's just not a big enough slide. So super, super cool to see all these people. It was a little chilly, but I think the alcohol took care of that for some of them. So this is more that we're doing. So the improved, you know, employer choices, investing more in division managers than we've ever had before. We're continuing to upgrade iCentric trainings, investing in QGenda scheduling and Space Optimizer. We're restructuring clinical enterprise. And I talked about this in the previous slide as it relates to patient experience, but it also, you know, really helps with the team experience as well. You know, adding mid-level managers to help clinical enterprise managers. We're doing the one-on-one model of MAs to providers, which is really reducing the amount of messages that are hitting provider boxes, which is really a great thing. The Thriving in Pediatrics group is awesome. I mean, they work above their scope of their normal job to actually to help with resilience and throughout the department, you know, and it's the staff and wellness, you know, champions that they're picking and having volunteered in each of the divisions. And we're gonna have a wellness retreat coming up here soon, and you know, and monthly initiatives, and they try to make sure that the department is engaged in all of these fun things, and we really appreciate that group. And I think one of the biggest wins that we've had over the last little while is really moving our call center from 419 to the 250 tower. And you can see here, I think this was a picture of the old call center, but I think this actually, the other one, the real call center didn't have windows, and I think it had bats hanging from the ceiling. So moving into this new call center was something that was incredibly long time coming and incredibly difficult and expensive, but we knew we had to do it. If you can see here, this is a picture of the new access center, you know, and you can see the group down here on the right, bottom right, those are primarily the people that made it happen. And I can tell you that Ruby Roller right up front was the reason that this got pushed through, because she kept me on my toes and really pushed me to continue to go down this route and kept me on track. So thank you, Ruby. Oh, there you are. So great. Few extra pictures of this, which was such a monumentous occasion, was the ribbon cutting for this. This is Angelo giving his pep talk to us all, which he's so good at. You know, we had ourselves a little bit of a party out on the balcony, which was great. You know, we have Trevor and Dave in aprons. That's all I have to say about that. And we had a great raffle that was fun. I'd like to call attention to this. I don't know if I would accept that raffle prize from him if he's handing it to me like that. So good. I'm running out of time, so I really wanted to hit on this really quickly. So the new departmental faculty initiatives are actually really exciting. And this is where Angela was pushing our faculty to, we want to keep and retain our faculty more than, and we feel like really building into their academic careers is how we do this. And so with help of Dr. Karen Bushai and Brandy Harmon and others, we've developed the Academic Catalyst Program. And to really run the faculty development out of that is Dr. Ann Blaschke. We have an associate chair of community and global engagement, which is Dr. Jeff Robison, and a vice chair of equity, diversity, and inclusion and justice, and we call it the JEDI. And this has been a long time coming, and Dr. Q Nguyen is leading that up, and she's amazing, and we're incredibly happy to have that position finally in place. And then associate chair for faculty engagement is Dr. Murphy. And she's really going to help with career development and professional skills of our faculty members. And she's also leading up the Women in Pediatrics initiative, which is really helping the women inside the Department of Pediatrics take it to the next level. And I'm super happy about that. So the missing aim here, doing all of these together and continuing to push on these is really important to the department, and it's really important to the hospital as well. And so we're kind of tackling this together. And there's a lot that needs to be done, and we're working feverishly to do this. But we feel like we've done a lot, and we feel like there's a lot more to come. So just leaving you with a few quick things, and then I'll be out of your hair. This is a picture of Angelo and myself dressed up as flowers for the spring party, which is always a fun thing. And usually I like this quote just because it's from my fake uncle, Fred Rogers, and it says, "There's no person in the world like you, and I like you just the way you are." So thank you all. It
was wonderful. Thank you, Mike, so much for going over that. I am so happy to introduce our next guest speaker to you. We have Miss Emma Houston with us today. And Miss Houston is our Assistant Vice President for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and she's also the Chief Diversity Officer for the university. So please join me in welcoming Miss Emma Houston.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I like that. Now listen, I'm originally from Texas. I just got back a few days ago from a family reunion in Navasota, Texas, population 7049. It's this big. And so everywhere I went, people were saying, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing? So whenever I come to a presentation like this, I always do a greeting, and I pause because sometimes there's silence. Sometimes there's silence. There's no response when I say good afternoon. So I'm going to try that one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so very much. Again, Ms. Rachel, thank you for the introduction. I am Emma Houston, as she has said, and we're going to talk a little bit about equity, diversity, and inclusion. And one of the things that I noticed that Mike talked about on his presentation was all about awareness. And equity, diversity, and inclusion is all about awareness, how we show up, what we bring when we show up in the spaces that we show up in. So I am going to share this information. Was it the clicker, Mike, that worked, or was it the clicker that worked? Well, Jeff is returning to help us. Thank you for the technology help. As much as you practice this in your head and it goes well, When you get in front of the audience, there is a pause. You did something. What did you click?
I just touched the arrow. I'll put it back. I'm sorry.
There you go. No, no, thank you. Thank you for touching the air. I appreciate that. I went on your website to see what you talked about, and I saw your mission and I saw your vision, and it talked about inclusivity. It talked about advocating for every child that you serve. It talked about also advocating for those parents of those children. So I am sure you know what your mission is. I am sure you know what your vision is. I'm sure you can talk about it when you walk out of this room and that you live it as well. And it is part of your lived experience. So we know that this is what you do. This is why you are doing what you're doing, caring for children and caring for their future as well. The population in Utah, this is just a numbers thing. We have over 3 million plus individuals who call Utah home. And what the census has done is broken up this in categories on how people have identified what their ethnicity is. And so knowing that there's 3 million plus individuals that call Utah home, you're going to cross paths with someone from a different background, from a different economic status, from a different religion, from a different lived experience. You're going to cross paths with that child or with that parent out of these 3 million individuals who call Utah home. So I want you to just sit with that for just a moment. What happens when you show up? What do you bring when you show up with individuals who think differently from you, who have a different lived experience from you, who have all of that in their DNA? What do you bring when you show up, when you are interacting with individuals from different backgrounds, from different lived experiences, from different language, out of these 3 million plus individuals in the state of Utah? When we think about equity, diversity, and inclusion, when we think about engagement, when we think about awareness, when we think about all of that, it is encompassing us. It is who we are. So when you talk about how you advocate for patients, patients is inclusive of us. Patients is inclusive of us. When we talk about how we collaborate, how we join, how we work, how we show up, it is inclusivity that we're talking about. It's about creating a space of belonging. It's about creating a space of engagement. So when we're talking about what your mission is, what your vision is, it's all inclusive of us and how each of us show up. So if I am part of your team and I am doing something that is contrary to the mission and vision, my question to all of us in the room, who's going to call me in? Who's going to say, Emma, what you did, what you said, how you behaved, how you interacted is not how our beliefs, then it's our responsibility individually and collectively. I see the tech guy coming up. What am I doing?
You didn't do anything. Somebody said you were muted.
I'm muted.
It says there.
I got to start over. No.
Yeah, okay.
So my question is, have we created a safe space, regardless of position or title that you hold? If you're the director, if you're the doctor, if you're the whatever your titles are, is your team secure enough in your space to say, Emma, what you said was inappropriate. We need to fix that. Have we created that safe space with our teams to have that conversation, to create that space of inclusivity, of belonging, as well as engagement, but most important, of trust? Do we trust our team members that if we get off step, we can go to them either collectively as a team or privately to have that conversation? So when we're talking about us, we're talking about what does that mean and how do we define us in this setting? When we look at our intersections, I present as a Black female From Texas, whatever that means, from Texas. That's how I present. So when I look at how am I being successful, my question to you is, how do you see me? How do you see me? What is your first impression of me into this space? Without me introducing myself, without me giving you credentials, but also when you are working with patients, how do you receive your patients? Is it based off your lived experience? Is it based off what you have been told to believe about a different demographic? How do you receive individuals? Do you meet them simply where they are and how they show up without any perceived biases to come into play? So looking at our intersections, we cannot separate everything that we bring to the table. The question is, how do you receive us when we come to the table? I want you to look at this collage of beautiful little faces on the screen. Any one of them could be a patient, any one of them. Any one of them could be a patient. My questions to you is this. First reactions. What do you see? What is favorable? What is unfavorable? Who were you drawn to? Who were you not drawn to? Did you have a positive reaction or a negative reaction? Based on a photo collage, any one of these could be your patients. So when you show up, when you walk into a space and you see one of these darling little faces in that room that you are going to provide service to, first reaction is what? First reaction is what? Based on their appearance, based on their age, based on their gender, based on whatever we have labeled our patients with, what is your first reaction? How do you engage? How do you help create that sense of belonging and inclusivity? Because when we're talking about awareness, we're talking about my gut reaction when I have an encounter with an individual. Here we are, collage of photos again. These could be the parents, the siblings, the family members of those beautiful little faces you just saw. First reactions. First reaction. What do you see? What is favorable? What is unfavorable? Who were you drawn to? Who you're not drawn to? Positive or negative reaction. These are the parents, the family members of those individuals. How do you react to them? What do you bring when you show up, when we are interacting not only with our patients as children, but also as the adults who are with them? How do you interact? What is your response? You all are so quiet. I want you to think about this. This is just to think about. This is all about awareness. And it's a lot of this is on our lived experience. Can I tell you a quick story? Born in Texas, my parents raised 6 children, 4 daughters, 2 sons. My parents were giving us lived experiences. This is what you do, this is what you don't do. So we were kind of getting an idea of how to behave. My mother said to us as we were getting older, stay away from people with tattoos. People with tattoos are bad people. Anybody got a tattoo? Let me raise my hand first. My mother never met anyone with a tattoo, never had a conversation with anyone with a tattoo. What she saw on television or in the news, when people were being arrested, she noticed someone had a tattoo. So she associated badness with tattoos. Does that make sense? You talking about my mom? Hold up. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. But when we think about our lived experiences, do we believe what we believe because we have lived it, or what someone has told us to believe? When we interact with our patients, do we believe they're going to behave in a certain way because we have been conditioned, we have been told, we have whatever? Or is it because of a lived experience? Knowing that everyone is an individual and the experience will be different. So what do you bring when you show up? What do you bring when you show up? So possible factors of exclusion. Anyone ever been excluded from anything ever? Let's start at birth. Anybody? Anybody ever been excluded? It doesn't make you feel good at all, does it? There is no reason that you should be excluded for any reason. But what is listed on this slide, when I have asked individuals why they felt they have been excluded, they say, because my gender identity, my sexual orientation, my age, my religion, my occupation, my language, my appearance. People have been excluded because of this. So my question to you is this: when you engage with your patients, have you said, because of their age, I'm going to treat them this way? Because of their gender identity, I'm going to treat them this way. And treat them this way is I'm going to give them the best quality service that I can possibly render to them. That's what I hope we would default to. The best quality service, regardless of what is labeled on this screen here. So 7 attributes of an equity-centered person. When we talk about equity-centered, we are also talking about awareness. That's just an interchangeable word, awareness. And when we talk about our being centered, we're also talking about these 7 attributes. There are many attributes, but are we talking about being fair, courageous, curious, adaptable, humble, and accountable? The first one is self-awareness. Are you aware how when you enter a space that you perceive the individuals that you are interacting with? Are you aware of how you interact when you show up with individuals? When I started off, I said, good afternoon, and you all greeted me back. Do you greet everyone that you interact with? Do you say good morning, good afternoon, how may I help you? But most importantly, do you say to the adults with those children, how may I address you? How may I address you? What is your preferred name? In my community, titles are very important. So if I was to have a conversation with Reverend France Davis, although I've known him 30+ years, he is always Reverend Frank. He is never France. Please don't call the pastor by his first name. His members will have a conversation with you. But anyway, that's a different story. Titles are very important. So creating that space of belonging. When you're interacting with someone, do you request, how may I address you? How may I address you? And then recognize what that looks like. So that self-awareness is crucial in this point. How do you be proactive? What is your responsibility in being able to create that sense of belonging, that sense of engagement, that sense of inclusivity? We get to know the individuals that we serve. 3 million+ individuals. There are communities out there that we go into to have conversations with. We know that recently the Juneteenth was recognized as a federal holiday. We know it's a big to-do in the Black community. My question to you is, who went to Juneteenth this year? Anybody went to the Juneteenth festival? Okay. Okay. Juneteenth, put it on your calendar for 2023. It is a celebration of a Black community to highlight the accomplishments. When we're talking about serving a community and we don't know what the community values, we are at a disadvantage. We are at a disadvantage. So just think about, how do you get to know the communities that you're serving? How do you bring your awareness level up so that when someone enters into your space from a community that you do not necessarily engage in, you have some history, you have some knowledge, you have been engaged with that as well. I am going to attempt to show you this quick video, and Jeff said if I clicked on the link, it would work.
If you struggle to lose
We
weight,
don't want to see
you
that,
must
but
see this.
how
A
do you
fact
skip
dissolving
the
loophole
ads?
has just been
Go
leaked
skip
that
ads.
can
It's right there on the screen.
It's easy to put people
I
in
hear no
boxes.
sound.
There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by.
I'm going to stop that. I hear no sound. Now, this video has nothing to do with nothing. It's all a visual. It's absolutely is a visual.
It's easy to put people in boxes. There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by. Those we trust, and those we try to avoid. There's the new day.
Anybody ever been in Navajo? 7049. And so.
And those who've always been here. The people from the countryside.
91 was there, and he was doing what unviolent does. He was being unviolent all of 91. So it was very good. They are siblings of 14, seven daughters and 7 sons. So, and there are 5 who are remaining. So this is on my father's side. It has nothing to do with nothing. I'm trying to, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
And those who've never seen a cow. The religious
Who has a laptop?
and the self-confident. There are those we share something
Is
with,
it
and those we don't share anything with.
connected here?
Velkommen i dag. Nogle af dem kan godt være lidt personlige, men jeg håber, I vil svare ærligt på dem.
Share sound.
Yeah.
Hvem herinde i rummet var klassens klovn?
Boy.
Hvem er
What I would share, I think Aaron has a link that we can share this with. Well, let me give you a synopsis of what this all means. They bring individuals into a room.
It's easy to
and
put
then
people
they
in
start to
boxes.
get to ask them questions. And they,
There's
one of the
us,
questions,
and there's
the
them.
spokesperson is speaking in their native
The high
language,
earners,
and they're speaking Danish, I
and
believe
those
is
just
what they're
getting
saying.
by.
And as they get
Those we
further and
trust,
further into the questions,
and those we try.
he starts speaking English. And one of the questions that they talk about is who has been moved. And someone stepped up. Who loves to dance? Someone stepped up. Who saves lives?
It's easy to put people in boxes. There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by. Those we trust, and those we try to avoid. There's the new Danes, and those who've always been here. The people from the countryside, and those who've never seen a cow. The religious, and the self-confident. There are those we share something with, and those we don't share anything with.
velkommen? Jeg kommer til at stille jer nogle spørgsmål i dag. Nogle af dem kan godt være lidt personlige, men jeg håber, I vil svare ærligt på dem. Hvem herinde i rummet var klassens klovn? Hvem er bonusforældre?
And then suddenly, there's us. We who believe in life after death. We who've seen UFOs. And all of us who love to dance. We who've been bullied. And we who've bullied others. And then there's us, the lucky ones who've had sex this past week. We who are broken-hearted. We who are madly in love. We who feel lonely. We who are bisexual. And we who acknowledge the courage of others. We who have found the meaning of life. And we who have saved lives. And then there's all of us who just love Denmark. So maybe there's more that brings us together than we think. TV2 Denmark. All that we share.
As you can tell from that video, as I was speaking, I could not have done it justice. So thank you for bearing with us as we got that together. Thank you, Jeff. So now do I need to get to the last slide? Just stay here with me. Just stay.
I'm nowhere near this.
Next one. Thank you.
What about now?
Is that good? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. This is the last of the slide here. It's just a page with resources on there for you to look, click on some couple of links. Like I said, I will get that to Aaron. Click on a couple of links if you want to do a little deeper dive into equity, diversity, and inclusion, and just sit with some of this information for a moment to just see, even if that video showed when the individual had began speaking, they were speaking in their language, you were probably thinking, is this going to be the entire video in a language that I do not understand? So think about the patients that you serve when you are speaking in English and they understand another language and they are also trying to interpret what you're saying. I know you have resources to help with interpretation, but think about their lived experience and your lived experience as well. And what you do when you show up, what do you bring to the table? Again, my name is Emma Houston. I'm from Navasota, Texas. It's been my pleasure to be in this space with you. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It was very powerful. Okay, so we're gonna close our session today with our raffle. So if you had registered ahead of time, oh, dang it. Here we go. We have 10 chances to win. So we have 2 drawings for 4 packs of movie tickets for Jordan Commons. We have 2 drawings for 5-pack tickets to Salt Lake Bees baseball game of your choice. 2 drawings for $50 Target gift cards. 2 drawings for $50 Smith's grocery gift cards. And 2 drawings for $25 Starbucks gift cards. Winner. Okay, so Tiffany is going to help me. And we're going to start with the movie tickets, right? First one? Yeah, okay. So if your name gets called, please either somehow acknowledge it. So either come to the front if you're here in the room or put something in the chat so that we know that you're here virtually or in real life. Okay, first winner is Justine Jew. Justine Jew is our first winner. Justine? Did she? Oh. Come on, Justine. Are you here? Oh, she's there. I saw her I saw her. Hi. Okay, our next winner for movie tickets. Zaina Smith is our next movie ticket winner. Zaina. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh. Anybody see Zaina anywhere? Oh, there, yay, there she is. Okay. Congrats, Zaina. Okay, our next is the 5-pack tickets to the, no, wait, hold on. We're doing Starbucks next, my bad. So Starbucks gift card, $25. Here we go. Gavin Eldridge. Gavin Eldridge. Do we see him anywhere? Maybe. Yay, Gavin. People are saying congrats. So I hope that means he's here. Okay. And then another $25 Starbucks gift card. Oh, there he is. I saw him. Okay. Okay. All right. Leanne Dempsey. Is she online or in real life? Leanne Dempsey. Oh, yay. Okay. All right, on to our Smith's gifts cards, $50 Smith's gifts card. Okay. Kara Pausch. She in real life or on Zoom? Sweet. All right, another Smith. I can't say Smith's gift card. Why is that so complicated? $50 for Smith's gift card. Allie, yeah, you're in real life. Yay. It's somebody from the room. Okay. Our next one is a $50 Target gift card. Feel the good vibes. I think this is okay. Keisha Lasuma. Is she on? Keisha, oh wait, okay, we got a slow clap back there. I don't know what that means. Keisha, okay. Is she here? Okay. She's on there somewhere. We believe in her. Okay. All right, so $50 Target for Keisha. All right, next Target gift card, another $50. Brianna Sawyer. Is she online? Brianna Sawyer. Oh, she's here. Yay. Congrats, Brianna. $50 Target for you. Okay, and then our last two drawings will be for the 5-pack of tickets to Salt Lake Bees game of your choice. So first one. Heather Bailey. Yay! She's in real life too. All right, and the next pack of Salt Lake Bees games tickets. Abby Loveridge. Yeah, she's here. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we're all in real life. That's true. You are here in real life. All right. Thank you all so much for being in the room. And then those who were able to join us virtually, it's so nice to see you virtually. Look for our save the date for our next Stack Run rounds. And thank you all so much. It's a pleasure being with you. Oh, wait. Oh, and Mike says, please come get treats if you're at Eccles. Thanks, everyone.